But I'm going to let Ron go ahead and share with you for the next 3 minutes, so take it away.
My name is Ron Williams. I am CEO and founder of Üforia Science. And everybody wants to know what Üforia Science is. It starts in a lab, world-class lab, HIPAA and CLIA certified, which means they operate at the highest standards of quality and efficacy, as well as the highest standards of security. Your information will never be seen or sold by anyone but you. And from the lab, they measure what are called your genetic SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphisms, which really we inherit from our parents, and they tell us a lot about genetic variants and what we might be susceptible to in our overall life and our health. And what's cool is once the results come out of the lab, there's an intellectual property of software that has been pioneered by some of the best minds on the planet with DNA. And what happens is your information goes through that sophisticated software and it produces a name, your name, and a barcode. Then the miracle happens. That name and barcode are then scanned by what we've called the Utritionator, and the Utritionator will make your very own designer nutrition using nearly 100 plant-based, peer-reviewed ingredients just for you. So we find this to be extremely fascinating. We call that product Utrition. It comes with your name on the label. So what's happening now is people are seeing this movement into DNA. You know, your DNA is your authority on nutrition. So everybody wants in. The problem is they're mimicking the message by saying, here's a DNA test, which is fantastic, by the way. And then they're just using pre-labeled, prefabbed, pre-made product off of someone's shelf using blind nutrition. So instead of doing a DNA test and blind nutrition and here, go eat this and go to the grocery store and buy that and go to the health food store and buy this, I mean, that's a lot of stress and legwork. So what Üforia does is it removes all the legwork, it removes all the guesswork, and it puts in the palm of your hand your very own nutrition. You know, I've had a few nights to sleep on this vision and this technology. And I think Üforia has the potential to become, to supplement companies, what Amazon has become to retail outlets. I think there'll come a day when our children's children will say, hey, you mean you guys used to use all the same nutrition for everyone? You know? So I think that this is the future. It's inevitable, and we're leading this future today. So clearly this is also, you know, a business movement. Talk about an opportunity to be on the ground floor of the future today. Even when it confronts the supplement industry, where will you be at the tipping point? And so this is going to be a business that really demands leadership, but it'll be dominated by customers. The nice thing is we've made it affordable. Actually, the technology has made it efficient and affordable. We did a study that if you went to a health food store and you were to try to replicate your nutrition and buying all the ingredients individually, it could cost upwards of a couple $1,000s. Nutrition is delivered to your door for $159. It's a lifetime of luxury. So this just isn't a new product, it's a complete paradigm shift. Being who we truly are at our core and our identity is life-giving in itself. It's empowering, it's liberating. So at Üforia, being you never felt better.
So you guys, can I get a proper applause for the one and only Mr. Ron Williams?
I can hold it. Thank you. Thank you, Hallie. Hey there. Good. Yeah, I'm not going to blow up balloons in time today with my jacket. Sorry. I'm just here to try to look like I'm from Vegas a little bit. You know, I'm in a show. It's funny when you go and look at the billboards in Vegas, you can't tell anymore whether it's a law firm or magicians, you know. It's two names always. And they dress the same and look the same. So anyhow, now you're guilty, now you're not. No, I'm kidding. So good to be here. Always a pleasure to share the stage with Hallie, with Mike, with others. They were unmistakably beautiful when I met them. I always say they blindsided me when I first met them because it was a Saturday morning. My boy just had a football game. And we just kind of strolled in and said, well, we're going to meet a couple people at the office. And they came in and I was sitting up in my chair looking at what clothes did I wear today? You know, because fashion has never been my sort of thing. So pleasure to be here on a Saturday during the holiday season. I've been, for the last 2 weeks, all over the place, to say the least. And it's been fun. You know, the people would ask, well, Ron, during this time of the year, the company's so new, why would you go from city to city to city to city? And my answer to that is, I will not leave the fate or the cultural fate of this company to the wind. So I'm here to make sure that it's crystal clear. Our intention, not perfect, but just clear. That the intention of this company is to love people, to illuminate people, to give people hope in a world where hope is priceless, and just really give people something perhaps that they hadn't yet seen before when it comes to services provided. And if anything, particularly during this holiday season, if I can leave this very room of people today in a space of just real content and happiness and peace and unity and brother and sisterhood and ambition, or whatever it happens to be. Some different things are going to pop out of different people, but my intent is to come in and do that sort of thing with you today, not for you, but with you. So good to see a bunch of old friends that I've known for a long, long time. You know, it's always good to see familiar faces. And when I walk in a room, I just kind of take a quick snapshot and then I go. So there's no two talks alike. So hold on tight. I think what comes to my mind today is talking a little bit about the human condition, starting with just wellness. I'm not going to get into the presentation because I thought if I came today in Las Vegas on a Saturday during the holiday season, what would I hope to experience? And I would then what I would try to do is answer that by completely blindsiding you with something completely different. So here's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with the health condition of what we're seeing in North America. This is the sickest, fattest generation ever. We'll start right there, okay? The first generation that's perhaps projected to outlive their children. Our children think they're health nuts when it says 10% juice on their candy, okay? A fast food, lunchable era of foodless foods and lifeless drinks, things that mimic nature. Infomercials that deceive, infomercials that are designed to cause compulsive purchasing, compulsive behavior, trends. Let me tell you something, your health is not a trend. It's as timeless as the sky is blue. So when you hear health trend, you should probably run, okay? There are certain things we can do that work. Now, the beautiful thing about all this is that the body is there to back you. It's got your back if you understand how to empower this body. A lot of people, the old school of what I call blind nutrition, the old school of blind nutrition by default became hype. Of course it did. You know, you're a Me Too company, you better start hyping it a little bit. Blind nutrition by default causes a little bit of desperation because you're trying to distinguish yourself from Me Too. So we're kind of now witnessing the beginning of the end of blind nutrition. Therefore, how would that look and feel to put that in the rearview mirror? What would we then say? Here's what I believe we would say. First of all, we would stop making false claims that this is going to cure this and cure that, because no product cures anything. The body cures things. What the body needs is a certain reverence. It needs the proper raw materials. That's what it needs. So basically, I used to work at the largest essential oil company in the world. Some of you might know it as Young Living Essential Oils. Anybody heard of that one? Great company, by the way. Great oils. Some people might have them on their table. I got them in my pocket right now. Burning a hole in my pocket right now. But yeah, sometimes they leak. Careful, okay? Yeah, don't put oregano oil there. So, but all I can say is that I've been through CEO of a raw foods company. If God made it, eat it. I've been through senior executive at the essential oil company, and I've kind of seen a lot of things. And I consider myself not some certified expert, but some self-read kind of guy that really can go down the rabbit hole if you want to. I don't believe in fanaticism, by the way. If you're here to be the fanatic and pick the little and find the dark piece of rice in the bowl, you're probably in the wrong room. Fanatics die every day of self-inflicted stress. That's why they have bad breath and are struggling to make rent. You know, they just fanaticize over everything and they get sick. So I'm kind of a little bit like, hey, take responsibility for your health, but don't turn everybody off. Nobody knows how much you know until they know how much you care, kind of a thing. So when I looked at health, a lot of experts are theorizing that health is energy. So when you take your smartphone and you can make your smartphone work, it just means you still have that electromagnetic energy in you. If you were dead, it wouldn't work, okay? You just put, nothing would happen. But because you're still alive, that energy, many believe, is a source of wellness. Your life force, if you will. And so if that's the case and you're still alive, consider that life force like a bank account, and you are the account manager. I want to make sure this lady can see me once in a while because she keeps poking her head around. She left. Okay. Oh, she did? Okay, there she is. Good. Okay. Anyways, you need to wear tighter jeans next time, sir. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. So basically, so you're the account manager. Think of it this way. You make deposits or withdrawals. So when you think of it like that, you're like, okay, I woke up this morning and I felt alive, and what did I do from there? Did I make deposits or withdrawals? And there's a lot of research on this now, so I won't go deeply into it, but I'll tell you there's research on this very theory about health. So if that's the case, how do you make more deposits than withdrawals? What are they? Because some people think that I came here to sell you the one and only solution to your life. I didn't. I didn't come here to sell you anything, actually. I came here to maybe share and open up a conversation in a world and a life, even financial opportunity for some of you who are just saying, man, thank you, perfect timing in my life. You see, the name of the company, is this for me? Wow, people are starting to get to know me. I'm a lazy CEO. Did you? Thank you, Rodney. I'm going to back it up. Okay, I need to juggle a little bit. So, thank you so much. So basically, how do you go about making these deposits? And so the first thing I looked at is, what did you do when you woke up this morning? Did you make deposits or withdrawals? And so I want to talk to you a little bit about what are deposits versus withdrawals today, so that you can have a consciousness moving forward. You see, in the 80s and the 90s, during the blind nutrition craze, it was inferiorism. That's what they call it, inferiorism marketing. By the way, I did it. I'm guilty. I was good at inferiorism marketing. Here's what inferiorism marketing sounds like. You know what? Dirt ain't no good anymore. And the air and the water is all horrible. And there's nothing left in the plants. But if you take this miracle supplement, you're going to live forever. That's inferiorism marketing. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So I teach roughly 9 to 10 principles of health that would be a habit for you that would cause the body to heal itself, okay? And so the first one, if you're going to write these down, if you're going to really embrace health and stop fighting disease, please stop fighting disease. What you resist persists. Our government declared war on terrorism. More bloodshed than ever. War on disease. Sickest generation ever. War on gang violence. Right? What we resist persists. So when it comes to wellness, it's not a conversation of fighting disease, it's more of a conversation of embracing health. So I would like to think that you just focus on being well rather than focus on not being sick. Focusing on not being sick is weird. You're going to attract every germ on the planet when you're doing that, truly. So number one, if you're going to embrace health, the first thing you want to do is keep breathing, okay? Fresh air. The cleaner the better. Breathe deep. It's free. Now, air conducts that electromagnetic energy, particularly before a storm. When the clouds come in and there's a storm and your hair gets all weird and stuff. That's that electromagnetic. When it's like that, I kind of crack my windows in the car and I'm like, I'm just taking hits of that stuff, because, it's like when you're on a road trip and the windows are up and you've been driving for 3 hours, all of a sudden you're like, wow, it's like dead in my car. And you just crack the window and instantly, something just happened. You just made a little deposit. That's what you just did. It was free. So breathe deep. The cleaner, the better. Conducts energy. Number two, water. Interesting how the surface of the earth is 70% water. Fruits and vegetables, 70% water. The body from the neck down is 70% water. From the neck up, it's 93% water. What you drink today walks and talks today. And so water, by the way, also conducts that electromagnetic energy, particularly moving water, more so, okay? And by the way, headaches. If you look online and you research headaches, 8 to 10 out of headaches are nothing more than a dehydration of the brain. And a lot of people reach for their water right now. They're like, yeah, man, darn right, man, get my water out right now. I got Hallie's water. Yeah. So water is obviously really, really good for you. Number 3, you guys don't have to worry about this here, but sunshine. There's a lot of new stuff on this. Not new, but there's a lot of stuff surfacing right now with sun. The sun is your friend. It's not the enemy. The sun doesn't cause skin cancer. A lack of fruits and vegetables in the diet cause skin cancer, okay? Now, if you're fair-skinned and you're on a poor diet and you're laying in the sun all day, yeah, you're pretty much asking for trouble. But if you're, eating a good diet and you're getting sun in moderation, there's a lot of studies now that say that when the sun hits your eyes, not directly, but just hits your eyes, it just flips all the switches in the body. So whenever you're dragging in the morning, just go sit outside for 15, 20 minutes and look towards the sun, not at the sun, and come back in just alive. All systems a go. Now, air, water, and sunshine are the first 3 things. Now, by the way, the sun produces rare micronutrients in the body that only the sun can produce with you. So thank you very much. Is that for Amy or is that for Amy? Amy, I'll share too. Okay. So the sun produces these rare micronutrients. So the first 3 are air, water, and sunshine. Anybody ever heard the term photosynthesis before? So here's a fun thing. At Oregon State University, they found a raspberry. This is a little study they did. The raspberry had 2,000 phytonutrients in it, and they were like, oh, it's impossible, because the dirt was depleted of everything. And so they couldn't understand how those 2,000 nutrients showed up. And the way they showed up is being anchored in dirt. When you give it air, water, and sunshine, nature performs its nutritional miracles. It's called photosynthesis. I believe, like a flower, you give a flower air, water, and sunshine, and boom. I don't know that we're any different. We're just big old ugly flowers, some of us, But just getting that air, water, and sunshine is kind of a cool thing when you start that way. When you just look at life that way, is a form of embracing health, not fighting disease. Number 4, exercise. There's 1,000 ways to exercise, but there's a lot of research now on walking, that walking is not only physically good for you, but it's psychologically good for you, that helps produce the endorphins, makes you happy, that maybe we don't need a surplus of psychiatrists, we need maybe a few more walkers along the way. So walking is very, very good as well, getting some physical action going on in your body. Number 5, I love this one, is trust in nature. If God made it, eat it. If man made it, eat it or leave it. Eat it in moderation or leave it alone. It's up to you. I won't age myself too much, but a long, long, long time ago, I researched this. I looked at indigenous cultures, and I found out, what did people believe before there were TV commercials or pop-up ads on your website? What did they believe before there were billboards, and infomercials, when they just had the wind and the trees? Well, they believed this. They had the original fast food. They picked it and they ate it. That's number 1. And number 2, they would look at food in more of a spiritual context. It wasn't physical matter. It was more of a spiritual message. Physical matter versus spiritual message. So a carrot, they would cut a carrot and they'd see, oh, the carrot has an eye there. There's one eye looking right back at me. They believed intuitively, spiritually, or just innately that carrots were an offering to the body for the eyes. And Cal Berkeley won a Nobel Prize in roughly 1979 when they studied the carrot, and they announced that carrots are for the eyes. Kind of thing. So they did that. Number 2 is a walnut. You open a walnut. It's a little brain, exactly, by the way. Identical to a brain. If you look up walnuts online and what they're good for, you'll see it's brain food, essential fatty acids for the brain, okay? Back in the Greek days, the salads, these Greek salads, whether you find all the nuts in there and the pecans and the walnuts, it was all about being smart. I don't know if you knew that. What's that? The history of that was all about being smarter, okay? Tomatoes. We took a tomato and we had an illustrator illustrate the inside of a tomato. And then we went to the encyclopedia to look at the inside of the heart. And folks, you just couldn't tell one from the other. It was fascinating. And again, look up on Google, and particularly when you go on a fast, and they say, before you break your fast, eat a bunch of stewed tomatoes, and it goes into what it does for your heart, and all the cardio and all that kind of stuff, that tomatoes are heart food. And what am I getting at here? Well, avocados, women. Of course, we're close to Utah. Utah, we don't need more avocados. There's babies popping up everywhere. Some of them are right back there. But avocados are a swollen seed that from blossom to ripe are 40 weeks, just like the term of pregnancy. And I remember teaching this stuff 20 years ago and people thinking he's crazy. I mean, I was in Australia a few years ago and I was watching the news and the lady goes, avocados are for fertility for women. And you went on and on and on. It's just fun to see all this stuff that nature is nutritionally complex. So we don't have to be. So it's kind of fun when you look at it that way. Growing up, I ate a lot of buns and rolls. The people from behind me can actually see, so they'll laugh, right? But funny that we call them buns and rolls. But anyhow, this can go on and on and on by way of this conversation. It's called signature foods, the sign of nature, signature. So that's number 5. Number 6 is relationships. How many of you have been in a relationship that made you feel sick? Raise your hand, be honest. If they're sitting next to you, put your hand down right now. Okay. How many have been in a relationship that made you feel alive? Truly, felt alive, like wow, right? Interesting, where there's no supplementation involved, there's no avocados involved yet. But basically, you're just buzzing. You might even be sipping down punch and junk food in the right relationship and feel more alive than ever. That energy, right? It goes up to here. I give my mom one of my kids and she holds my kid and her energy goes from a 6 to a 26 in like a second. It's interesting how relationships are a deposit. And so when it comes to these relationships, there's 2 choices. There's one, be a victim. Victims walk around carrying their victim stories like antiques just so they can show the world why they're miserable. See, this is why. Get in line, right? We've all got our stories. Get in line. So if you want to collect, victim stories like antiques, remember this, man. Victim versus responsible is things either happen to me or through me. It's that clear. There's no mistaking that. You're going to have things happen, folks, of course. I do. We all do. But it's really how you want to take charge of things. If you're going to let life snap you around, let it. But if you're going to snap life around, do it. It's a difference. The person who's victim wakes up and says, gee, I wonder how today's going to go. A person who's responsible says, here's how today's going down. Okay? With little variations every day, probably, normal variations. So when it comes to relationships, there's 2 ways to go. Either I'm responsible for these relationships or I'm not. It's that simple. And when you're responsible, what it means is you just learn to show up different with people than you were. Maybe what you were projecting onto somebody I worked with and I voided in the office because we had a different religion. He was an accountant, I was a creative person, and we don't get along. Or whatever it happens to be, it's so funny that when you decide to create that relationship so that you do get along, it's pretty amazing. By the way, that's a great form of leadership, that we all belong together, sort of leadership. So relationships. Number 7 would be your hobbies and passions. Anybody here have any hobbies and passions? I love to hear. What do you do? Snowboard. Yeah. Sweet. Motorcycle. Surf. Sing. Drums. Helicopters. Basketball. Scuba diving and wrestling. Trail run. I thought you said trail wrestling. Trail wrestling. I'll meet you on the trail. Yes. Awesome. Yeah. Music. Dancing. Yeah. It's really sad, that you develop the ears for this after a while when you talk about this conversation enough, that when people meet me, sometimes they'll walk up and they'll say, hey, Ron, we used to dance. Okay. And we used to, I'm sitting there thinking, this sounds like a eulogy, So what's next? Death? I mean, is that your next move right now? Because when it comes down to our hobbies and our passions, man, you don't need anyone's permission to go plug in. I know that I love to play ball. I remember playing baseball growing up, and then I converted to the lazy softball player, but on a very competitive level. And I remember, man, on Wednesdays, I could be in the office, and I would just be dragging a little bit, and I'd think, well, wait a minute. Today's Wednesday. I got a game tonight. And I can smell my glove out in the car. All of a sudden everything changes and my energy goes up. That's wellness. That's life-giving. Your hobbies are life-giving. Do them. Find them. Recreate them. It's really, really fun. That's a deposit. There's things like rest. Getting appropriate rest, and don't drive yourself. I'm going to scratch that one on this because I've been traveling like a crazy fool. Yeah, get rest, folks. I haven't gotten the best rest the last few days, but get rest. It's important. I can feel what it feels like when I don't get appropriate rest. And then financial health. How many people here have felt financially sick before? Raise your hands. Okay, of course. And the thing is that your money is part of your wellness and your health. It puts a little extra bounce in your step when it's done the right way. Money doesn't define you. It might expose you, but it won't define you. Money makes good people better. It makes people who are choosing to be lesser probably lesser. My view on money is there to serve people, not vice versa. And sometimes people become servants to the money. Why? What for? So you can be superficial and artificial and connect with no one? Buy your friends where there's no loyalty? So, money. And then finally, the last one is some form of spirituality. Something bigger than you so you don't get in the way. Some days better than others as well. But the inexplicable form of wellness, the inexplicable form of peace, the reverence, the surrender to something greater than you, that allows you to live into something more like the greatness, actually. So here, we're not allowed to be the ego kind of thing or the entitled sort of thing. We're basically here to serve people. And I've always tried to live by a certain philosophy that says, there's nothing here for me. And it's not meant to sound like a martyr or feel sorry for me or I'm too good. No, there's nothing here for me is just a way to show up, because expectation is the mother of disappointment. If you show up and go, yeah, I sure hope this happens today in the room, you're already setting yourself up for a potential letdown. But if you walk in and say, okay, I'm going to just love on everybody, there is nothing here for me, watch. Watch how much, perhaps, love you receive in return. Acceptance, friendship, involvement. So there's nothing here for me. Imagine if our culture really became that as a company. It would just be a buzz. We'd come in here and breathe deep and just take in all that great energy together, and we would release it right back out to the world. It'd be kind of fun. So those are the principles of health that I've been teaching for a long time, 20 years. And when I first started talking about the carrot and the walnut and the tomato, I was made fun of a little bit. But I will tell you, today, if you look at WebMD, our sketches are up on there now. They're using this information at WebMD, as a form of prevention. That raw food is perhaps, or raw nutrition is perhaps the only form of medicine. Let food be your medicine, let medicine be your food in that context, that works 100% of the time for 100% of the people. So, having said all that, why did I say that? It's so you can understand what Üforia means to the world. That's why I said it, because now we get to talk about wellness in a completely responsible way. When it was blind nutrition, it required a little hype, required a little promissory, it required a little desperation. Üforia doesn't. You know why? The answer all along was that the product doesn't heal, the body does. That was the answer this whole time. And we finally get to say it, And so what happened was I kind of made my career, seen a lot of things work, made a lot of mistakes along the way, just still standing, still loving on people, still have a great deal of hope and life to live myself, just like you do. And I get a call about 14 months ago. And the call was, hey, Ron, there's a technology screaming your name. Now, when I hear that, I'm like, cool, because the last 2 years, God knows I've been called on every CBD product. I've been called on every cryptocurrency dust deal there is out there, and I diversify. I diversified into cryptocurrency, but not to provide for my family. I diversified into CBD, but I did that in 2009. That was kind of the start of my run with CBD. So just didn't want to be another Me Too on every street corner. That's it. All due respect. I'm not good at Me Too companies because it changes my energy. It just does. Because you have to distinguish yourself. So here's how it was shared with me. If you're just visiting today, just try to put yourself in my shoes 14 months ago. Hey, Ron, we're buying a laboratory, words that I've never been involved in before. Oh, okay. Well, the lab has all the compliance that you'd want, all the qualities that you want to be a big boy lab if you want to be a legitimate laboratory in the medical world. The lab focuses on DNA tests. Okay? From there, we just purchased a software engineered by a bunch of scientists for the last 20 years. Now, I heard 20 years, like, are you sure 20 years? That just sounds like an exaggeration. The actual number is 24 years, but I'm just saying 20, okay? I said, wow, what does this software do? He says, this is the magic. The software takes your DNA results and it runs it through there, and it computes kind of the algorithm of you, and then it produces a barcode with your name. And then the third piece, nobody on the planet has it. We engineered and built the transformer machine that scans your name and barcode and drops nearly 100 plant-based, peer-reviewed studied ingredients into what we call Ütrition. And I'm like, and the next sentence was, the theory was there's no two test results alike, therefore there's no two formulas alike. And I'm like, he said it'll make nearly 400 million unique formulas. One is yours. Like, obviously thousands of questions go off in my head. First one was like, is this for real? Because it sounds what's the catch? Sounds way too good to be true. So here's what I've discovered on my own since digging in. Not only does it make it there on the fly for you to the microgram, you get who's gotten their report? Anybody gotten their DNA report? Anybody talked about these yet today? You did, okay, you did. Yeah, you get a 35-page report that tells you a lot about you that I guarantee you wish you'd have known when you were a baby on day one. But you get to know now. Babies are going to get to know in the future on day one. Okay? That's number one. It tells you what you got from mom, what you got from dad, what you got from both, and then some lifestyle recommendations, and then a formula for you to the microgram, the actives to the microgram for you. Then, on the wing of this machine, it has a real-time printer. Real-time, not a cheesy little thing, world-class quality. Print your label right there with your name on it, okay? And in your report comes your formula, your actives, if you will, and you can see kind of what's going on. And therefore, it's Amazon-proof. So, thank you. There, Michael Zappia. Ooh, I could pinch his and become a little bit more like Michael. I want to be, anybody want some? Raise your hand. Yeah, that's right, baby. Take back your identity.
I'm pretty sure that's HIPAA.
Yeah. So, that's funny. I want some of Hallie's too. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, so while it prints your label, they're real time on the fly. And this is the distinguishing question. Remember this. Listen closely right here. When somebody says, oh yeah, they do DNA tests and nutrition, the question is this. Do they put their labels on before or after your DNA test? That's it. Ours is after. The others are like, well, here you go. We got your DNA, and we're going to give you this bottle and these two bottles, and it's just one size fits all. So they're using DNA as an instrument to get your attention. Oh, no, the DNA is fine. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying we're doing it right there on the fly. Amazon proof. Okay? Finally, if that's not extreme enough for you, this is the part that still blows my mind. Every single batch, toss that to me. I can catch. Okay. Man, does she have a good arm or what? Here, catch this. So every single formula is considered a batch. So where I come from, a batch is 100,000 units. Hey, we're going to run a batch of this. So we run 100,000 units, and we put it on the shelf. We pull a sample. Guess what? Because of the FDA and compliance with this, we have to pull a sample from every single product made and put it in quarantine for 2 years for quality. So just to let you know the extreme commitment that we have on this, to make your formula not only one, just one of a kind, but two, the quality measures that we have to go to are extreme. So when you look at the value proposition that's being offered with Üforia, it's pretty significant. A 35-page report. Hey, I've been on the road the last 2 weeks. I've seen people, grown people, get up and sob, showing the report, saying, you know what, for 10 years, I've been fighting with my health professional about something that was going on and nobody believed me, and look, now I know what to do. Just that peace of mind alone will help somebody sleep better instead of always be in question, always have uncertainty. Those are not deposits. Uncertainty is not a deposit. In fact, it's a withdrawal, okay? So it's been beautiful just to see people get their reports and just have that peace of mind. So all of this came about now that we're witnessing the beginning of the end of blind nutrition. So from a business conversation, yeah. You know what the cell phone became to the landline? Exactly. What the iPod became to a CD, you know? What Amazon is proving to be to retail outlets. Üforia has that potential. In fact, I would go as far as to say, not pounding the chest, but this is arguably the most significant wellness company in history. We just have to live into that. We have to kind of, welcome healthy debate. I'm not saying it to be the king of the mountain. I'm just saying I can't think of a debate. I can't think of one that says, oh no, that's more significant from a wellness offering than a DNA test that spits out your specific information that then translate that into your specific nutritional product to the microgram. All peer-reviewed studied. You couldn't make the cut as an ingredient unless you had the peer-reviewed studies. Checkmate. I'm like, okay, pinch myself, thank God, whatever, just filled with gratitude. So I accepted, and we're here today. We're about 36 business days into our Whisper campaign because we don't pre-launch until January, next month, January 12th? 12th and 13th, across the street actually. We're going to have our official pre-launch. We'll be joined by Eric Worre. We'll be joined by people from all over North America and Puerto Rico. And right, Rod? Así es. And so, not you.
Yes.
I get you. Anyways, it's a long story. But anyhow, just really feel very grateful that this is who we are. So in reverence or respect to that, I'm going to do in 10 minutes the slideshow so that you can see yourself doing it, because this is the key. It's not me getting up here and kind of sprinkling on everybody. It's a little bit of that, but it's more so about you just seeing yourself doing the slideshow. It's this simple. So I'm going to have you watch this because I've been doing it in the last few cities. Who's controlling it? Right here? Okay. So go back. Back. Whoa. Oh. Is this thing going to work? Let's see. There's Hallie. I want to keep that in my presentation. That's awesome. Here you go. Did they show this yet? Okay, you've seen that? Okay. So it starts off with this video. So you're talking to somebody, they watch the video, and they're like, really? So here you go. The vision of this, the vision's gone. That's okay. So the history, basically it says here, the vision of the company is to create an extreme human experience in an extreme scientific environment. So my whole background is the human experience. I just fortunately inherited or attracted the whole scientific side of this. So they go together beautifully. Okay? Did you guys already do this presentation? Okay. I just, because I don't want you guys to be going, he doesn't know we already did this. Okay, here we go. So the history of nutrition, these are some of the marketing graphics that we created. 8 decades of blind nutrition, guys. What is blind nutrition? Try this, try that. We don't know if it's toxic, malnourishing, pasteurized, preserved. Oh, but some other DNA company does liquid vitamins. That just says preserved. That's all it really says, pasteurized. So this is kind of a one-size-fits-all model. How many of you, by show of hands, have a cupboard full of blind nutrition? Be honest. That you spent, yes, pointing at Hallie, yeah. Okay. Number 2. Is I put this up here for the specific purpose so that in case you have somebody going, well, I know of DNA nutritional companies, you can use this slide. Here's what happens. They'll do your DNA test, but then in a counterintuitive way, they'll offer you one-size-fits-all nutrition. You need more vitamin Bs, you need more, it's just a one-size-fits-all model still, okay? And then finally, what we're doing is designer or precision nutrition, okay? And precision nutrition is to the microgram, making health a habit, not an event. Society's made an event. This is a habit sort of thing. Okay, the steps are very simple. Where is that? Black DNA. Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. So these are kind of a hot commodity right now. This is the DNA kit right here. This has, that one's open. Thank you. Inside here has your swabs. There's 2 swabs, just so you know. You swab each side of your cheek. One swab here and another swab here. They want to make sure it's consistent and it matches, okay? That's kind of a quality measure so that there's no two different person swabs. They want to make sure it's the same exact person, okay? So you do that. There's an envelope in here. It's a prepaid mailer. It's already prepaid. Get it in the mail. If you're leading and you're building the business, help them get it in the mail, okay? So make sure it gets off in the mail, because some people are experiencing a bottleneck that they're swabbing it, but they're just not taking the time to go put it in the mail, okay? So get it in the mail. While your tests are happening and your DNA is pairing to your very own nutrition, there's an opportunity to engage already in a product called Pretrition. Pretrition is basically a mild cleanse or a prep formula filled with probiotics, prebiotics, cleansing agents, just to kind of get the GI tract going. On the road, I touched on this a little bit. Did you know that 80 to 90% of your endorphins are produced through the belly? A lot of people don't know that. And so your gut health is critical to happiness, critical to digestion, assimilation, anti-bloating, immune system, allergies. All of those things have to do with your gut. So if you take a lot of antibiotics, or you've taken a lot of antibiotics, we all know that antibiotics indiscriminately kill all the good bacteria in the stomach. So people say, well, let's just take some probiotics, let's eat some yogurt. Probiotics are an artificial form of bacteria. They go through and they pass through. Prebiotics, they're king nowadays. Prebiotics feed the forest of the belly, so the forest grows naturally. So this is loaded with prebiotics, cleansing agents, an ingredient called AC11 that we'll be training on here in about 5 weeks. This is what you start to kind of cleanse and prep the body for your nutrition. Then, about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, now that it's all set up, you will get your DNA report in an email. It's kind of fun. It's a 35-page report, and you get to see your colors. Can I see your report again? I just want to make sure you all, thank you, I got this one. Do you mind if I flash your colors? Okay.
Are you going to take some questions later?
Sure. Mm-hmm. So there's a section in here that, if you're visiting, it's kind of intriguing. Wow. Holy moly, this is the first report I've ever seen without a red, this we're not using, I'm kidding, without a red marker. It's the first one I've ever seen. I got some reds here. Let me see, just, I got what you need. Thank you.
This is Hallie.
That's Hallie, okay.
What does a red marker mean?
Well, here's what it means. I'm going to show, there's no reds here either.
Oh, no, see that? Oh, yeah. Doesn't even know the rest of it.
Does anybody here have some reds? Who's brave enough to share with everyone? It's okay. You got your report right here? You have a red? It's okay. It's right there. So here's one with a red. Now, I'm really impressed that people living in Vegas are living pretty darn healthy right now. Something's going on here. You guys must know something. Just one red here. Every room I've been in has had 4, 5, 6 reds. You know, so here's what it tells you. First of all, it tells you kind of what, you know, if you have a red, okay, if you have a green marker on that particular genetic SNP, it means you didn't get either from parent A or B. If you have yellow, it means you got from one of your parents, that genetic variance. If you get a red, it means you got it from both, okay? And so those are the cues that the technology then computes and looks for and formulates for you to let sleeping giants sleep. Thank you so much. Wow, I'm pretty impressed. There's that good stuff. So basically, you're gonna open it up, you're going to register. It's a $99 one-time test because there's a coupon that gives you $100 off. I'm just going to tell you guys, in St. George, Utah, I live up the street. There's a doctor. She's a part of our company. Her name is Dr. Jen Myers. She's a genetics specialist. She did my genes before I ever met this technology. She just did it. She had to hand compute the results. Took her about 2 hours. That part alone, the test and the hand computing, was $730. And then she offered me blind nutrition. Here you go, try this. And I was like, wow, a little over $1,000 bill is what it was. Our test, because we're not in the business of lab, we don't want to be in the business of lab. Our test is $199 because and then give the coupon, it's $99. We didn't want to cheapen it. Honestly, just the conversation we had around the tables, we didn't want people to think it's some cheap lab. It's not. We don't want to be in the business of making money in the lab. We'd rather be doing what we're doing here, okay? So you get your lab stuff going, you give them permission, and some people ask, well, why can't I just do it all at one stop? The answer is very simple. To be HIPAA compliant, all the lab stuff has to go a separate route to keep your information confidential. So that's why you have the dual experience out of the gates, okay? So here's your contents. I think I just covered all that. Next, this is a little bit about the lab I've already talked about. DNA analysis. It does 18. People say, why 18? It's a starting point. It's called your heavy lifting genetic SNPs. There's more down the road. But the heavy lifting SNPs are like heart, immune system, neurological, bone density, vitamin D absorption, detoxification, things like that. Just all the things that you want to know kind of right out of the gates. That's what the 18 are. Okay? This is kind of fun. So what this is we decided, how are we going to market this so that it's simple, so that we don't make it complicated? And please don't make it complicated. Here's what we decided. We were going to list all the SNPs, and when the website comes out next month, you're going to have a full-on website come out, that you'll be able to see all the SNPs, and you'll be able just to put the cursor here and click on any one you want to. In real time, you'll get about a 20 to 40 second doctor saying, this is what that SNP is. And you're like, oh, cool, I'll click on the second one. This is what the second SNP is. Oh, by the time you're at SNP number 7, you're like, okay, I'm sold. I mean, that's basically what it is, because it's really fascinating, each one of them, okay? So this is for the inquiring mind who wants to know all the different SNPs. Feel free to click away, okay? Some of us are not so inquiring. We're like, got it. I just want to get my product and go. Get my test, get my product, go tell other people about it. If that's not enough, then guess what? You can start clicking on the ingredients and look at the peer-reviewed studies. So that, again, if the inquiring mind wants to go deeper, let them. But you don't lead this way. I would advise you not to lead this way because you're going to raise more questions than answers. But if somebody really is inquiring, we want to make sure that it's very simple and intuitive. Here's a lab. Here's a software system. Here's 18 SNPs to click on. Here's over almost 100 ingredients to click on. Enough said. Okay? It'll make nearly 400 million formulas, 20 years in the making. We call it Nutrition. Has your name on it. I'm just showing you how simple it is. This is the piece that really is fun. This is the Nutritionator. We didn't know what else to call it. But this is the one of a kind that was engineered and built. It took roughly 3 years to engineer and build this, and a lot of money. It's the only one on the planet, and the reason being is because it'll do it for the masses. You see, I would be misleading you if I said you couldn't get this kind of service somewhere on the planet, because I think you can in little pockets of people who have those naturopathic doctors who are in their little offices making no money, you know, and what they're doing is they're doing your DNA test, and they'll have maybe a dozen herbs, and they'll go in the back and and then they'll charge you $1,200. But I'm just saying, it's just the masses is the main thing. There's a few people doing that, and high five to those people, by the way. High five to them. So this machine will make one formula every 15 seconds. It's pretty fascinating when you see it. Okay? We've already ordered our second one. The waves are coming. We feel it right now. And we're soon going to order a third. It'll make 110,000 units a month. Okay. Next. It's kind of what we just talked about. Click it. Thank you. Sorry about that, yeah. Some of this is redundant. Oh, I got it. Okay, is there anything else here on the money side or no? Yeah, let's take a look. Oh, usually the U series comes right here. Yeah, let's see. Well, I'll show this, but if you see the U series while you're scanning, that's okay. Let's look at this. Go back about. There you go, right there. Go back to the packs, sorry. So here's how people are doing the business, just in case you wonder. Now, if you're here and you're resisting the business because you want the product, you're fine. There's nobody here twisting anybody's arm or forcing anything to anybody. This is really a business by choosing. It's really a service by choosing. My job is to present the detail of this, and that's what I'm doing here today. However, having said that, our profession, nearly 50,000 people a day now join our industry. I used to think it was the same 50,000 people, no, I'm kidding. But about 50,000 people a day are joining our industry. We do roughly about 200 billion a year. So compare that to the NBA, 9 billion. Compare that to the video game industry, which is big, 60 million. The movie industry, 80 million. So believe it or not, our industry does more than all of those combined that I just mentioned, okay, annually. So it's not going anywhere. Some people think, oh, it's a get-in-line lottery mentality. No, it's not. It's work. It's work like anything else. But here's what makes it special. To start your own business somewhere else, you got to spend usually a significant amount of money to invest in your business. Here, you spend enough to get your product, and you spend your energy, and you develop your skill and expertise. I would say in Üforia, being nice is good, but not enough. You got to be nice and you got to be skilled, lethally skilled at what you do. Both. Be kind, be great. And so if you're looking at it that way, so again, if you're visiting, what happens? People say, well, why wouldn't you put this on the shelf of Walgreens? Well, here's why. We'd have to pay out a distribution house, warehousing, shelf space. We'll have to pay for billboards, pop-up ads, radio commercials, TV commercials, magazine ads, on and on. And then just cross our fingers that the market understands the distinction between this and all the blind nutrition. Nah. Let's avoid all of those costs, which is about 50% of the equation. Let's avoid all of that. And let's just pay you. We'll try to package it in such a way and create little 2 and 3 minute videos that the first week, I'm here to tell you, I think it played around 200 times, the video, first week. Second week, 2,000 times. So you can imagine right now it's probably showing 20,000 times a week, 5 weeks into it. Now imagine 5 months into it, a couple 100,000 times a week. That's what we do for a living. That's what our art is. That's what our expertise is package it, simplify it, and duplicate it. A brilliant idea that nobody gets is not brilliant. A simple idea that everyone gets is brilliant. So if you try to make it broad and you get all sciencey and you're mocking doctors, you're in trouble. It'll never duplicate. But if you're just keeping it simple, hey, there's a lab, there's a software, there's this machine that makes nutrition. Oh, if you want to click on a SNP, click on it. If you want to click on an ingredient, click on it, but that's it. That's it. This is a habit. You know, that's really all there is to it. So people are starting with these in a 3-pack, 5-pack, or a 10-pack. You get a 10, 15, 20% discount. Obviously, having them on your person makes a big difference because you can just simply give it to them, help them swab, help them get to the mail, and off to the races. Why is that so important? Here's why. This is what I'm used to throughout my career. I'm used to seeing a database. It doesn't look exactly like this, but technically it's the same. Where this is you. Let's say you introduced 5 people. Now, Mike Zappia is, I don't know if anybody's going to outwork this guy. I mean, he's working. And some people go, well, Mike Zappia already has several hundred people in his organization. Mike may have only recruited 12 himself. That's it. I mean, I'm not saying he did or didn't. I'm just saying that's how it usually works. And then when you look down the road 2-3 years from now, oh my gosh, they have 48,000 people in that. How did he get all those people? He didn't. He got 12 people. So that's the thing that most people just need to wrap their heads around. This is about duplication and effort. That's what it's about. Part-time, full-time, or all the time. Some people, Mike's doing it all the time right now. Now here's why this is so special. So I'm used to seeing a payout like this. Make decent money, but because the customer ratio, not everybody wants to do the business, and that's perfectly fine, but most everybody wants this. They want to get in and get their stuff. They want peace of mind. They want nutrition, okay? Not a problem. Get a 3-pack, and let's try to average 3 customers per nutritionist. Boom. Oops, sorry. That's what a commission looks like when you average 3 customers per nutritionist. Your bonus goes up 400%. Same structure, just customers now are coming, okay? Let's say you get the 5-pack and you want to average 5 customers. It goes up 600%. Let's say you want to go and get the 10-pack and play big, and by the way, there's some people that's a month and a half into it and have already gone through 3 or 4 10-packs, just because they're just sharing with people, you know? And, oops, sorry. So basically, 10 customers, it goes up, 1,100%. As a team, corporate-wise, we've been kind of doing our research and a market study. We think that this is going to be a customer to distributor ratio of about 40 to 1. It means there'll be 40 customers to every business builder in our company. If that happens, you better just hold on tight. Now, if you want that to happen, just move through the 3, 5s, and 10-packs together. Okay? Just move through them. They will move if you carry them and you share them. So that's what makes this so special. I won't go much further beyond that, but can you find the U-Series slide in there somewhere?
Okay, give me 1 second. I got it on the other side.
While he's finding that, any questions so far so I can close with my favorite part? Yes?
Can you explain again about some people said they got all this information through their blood test and what the difference is it DNA test versus blood test?
Yeah, the way the doctor explained it to me is your DNA is the blueprint to who you are. The blood are the accessories. How much of this or how little is in your bloodstream right now. So the blood will change, DNA will not. You just want to know what the blueprint looks like before you ever start messing with the blood, but some people are going to get blood tests to see what's going on with their blood after they get going, okay? DNA never changes. Yes, sir? Oh, great question. So the question is, will this be available to children? If I have a say in this, absolutely. Got some right back there. The future of Üforia, this is where I'm looking at least, is this. We would love to do someday, no promises of dates, but someday we would like to do DNA skincare. Imagine doing your DNA and having just, if you have dry skin, oily skin, sensitive skin, elasticity issues, it would be nice to know why, right? And then put the stuff on there that you need. We want to have DNA weight loss. Some people have they don't have the skinny gene. I'm kidding, but they want to know that. So then we can approach it that way. DNA sports performance. But my favorite one is RDA for children, DNA-based children. So to answer your question, we want to in the near future be able to test them. We just don't have a formula for them yet. Okay, but there's lifestyle choices that a child could know and make early. Sir, did you have a question?
For example, somebody said got diagnosed with diabetes or something like that. They're taking pills. If they do this, show them how to, maybe they'll eat something that they're taking or something like that, or what?
Shoot, I can't answer that. The compliance officer's in here. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Here's how I would answer it no matter what. If they have been diagnosed with something, they should consult their doctor, because we're not going to prescribe anything to anybody. All I know is that somebody who has blood sugar issues should probably eat a low glycemic diet, low carb, low sugar. Having an anchor like nutrition is not a bad thing, but I would always consult their physician. Okay? And my answer is, I don't know, I'm not in their body. That's our answer. Okay? Yes, sir.
What about the steps? Do the genes change based on your environment that you're in, that kind of thing, like those steps?
Great question. Do your genes change based on the environment? So the terminology for these genes, these SNPs, are actionable, how they express themselves. So for example, I'm going to give you a stupid example so I'm not making claims, but let's say mom has a gene that she grows a wart on her nose, and dad has the same one, and then you look at your wart snip and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a wart on my nose, it's red. Okay? So I'm just giving you a stupid example, but you remember it. Depending on the environment, diet, how you manage deposits versus withdrawals, and specifically how you take these science-based nutrients and apply them to the body so the body can let sleeping giant sleep. And in this case, the wart would be the sleeping giant. Okay? Next.
So I think you're safely saying that it's not going to necessarily treat any disorder, but only to enhance the body's ability to balance. But like, what is the Adonis model, so to speak, that you're trying to maintain?
The design is to scientifically give the body the best fighting chance it has to do what it does. Yes?
I have a comment. You talked about how people are kind of reluctant to maybe nail their sample of their swab. And I'm getting mine this week, and I've had fear. I'm thinking, what if I find out something that I'm scared to do it? So I think part of the reluctancy, because I'm going through it right now and I haven't got my kit yet, is what if I find out something horrible? So to guide someone through that and give them some kind of, and so what would you say to me that I could say to someone to make me feel better about that?
Well, I haven't turned in my DNA because of my criminal record. That's why I'm moving to Prim. Oh, that's on video, isn't it? Oh my gosh, that's going to make social media. I'm totally kidding. What I would tell you is knowledge is power, and in this case, it's peace. I've seen sobbing people on this trip, and I just was a little bit taken back, to be honest with you. I was like expecting people to be, yeah, I think I got it, explain it to me, but I walked into a room of people that were in tears, couples where, there was one couple who the wife had the obesity gene, she had the red one, and that's been an issue with their marriage. And they were able to talk about it more in a documented way than an opinionated way. It was really, really beautiful and enhanced. I could tell it was enhancing their relationship. Well, you're like driving without your headlights in the middle of the night. So I would turn the headlights on. Yes?
How does epigenetics play in this whole amazing thing?
Well, we have a new rap called Epigenetics.
Epigenetics.
No, I'm kidding. So epigenetics is basically once you understand your genetic this, that, and the other, that to your point, sir, you find the lifestyle and foods and diets and environment to thrive in. So we renamed it to Immunetics. In fact, it wasn't in there. Yeah, we renamed it to Immunetics purposely, so we had our own language, because epigenetics, there's like 20,000 in and 120,000 out online. So we decided to make our own name called Immunetics, and Immunetics is this. The ignorant might ask what this product will do for their bodies, when the wise will anticipate what their bodies will do with this product. So whether it's an environmental question, a dietary thing, a relationship-oriented thing, all those sorts of things, taking your nutrition as a habit, a great anchoring foundation based on science, that's what we call Immunetics. It's basically letting sleeping giants sleep, okay? All right. Yes, ma'am.
I have a friend whom I admire greatly. She's a health practitioner. She's been making and eating her own raw food for over 40 years. A COPD was told 40 years ago she was going to die. I'm trying to get her to do this product, not for money, but for her health. 7 years ago, she joined a multi-level marketing company, was promised the world with all these vitamins, and nothing was delivered. She's been burned. She won't even listen to me. Is there any way, without ruining our friendship, that I can speak to her to at least try it? To me, she has nothing to lose and everything to gain. But I don't want to ruin our friendship over it. So I'm just wondering if you have any suggestion. She's a Reiki master. She eats complete vegan. I ascribe to live like her. She's unbelievably disciplined, but she will not jump on board because it's driving me crazy.
I need you to write your address down for me.
I will.
Okay. Okay. That's true. Sorry. Sorry, I know. I just look, but don't touch. I got it. Okay. You can touch. Okay. Okay. This is not Utah. Okay, we're not brother hubs. Okay.
So wait a minute. I
Wait.
got a second question.
A brother hub is a sister wife, but it's a brother. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Question now that you want my address. Tomatoes. I adore tomatoes, but they're acidic. I'm dealing with cancer. I had to give them up. Is it your opinion that tomatoes would be okay for me to reintroduce them to my salads or not? Just your opinion.
They're alkaline, you said, right? That's what I thought.
They're alkaline, and I've been given this information.
They start out acidic, but they end up alkaline in the body. And again, there's no one thing I think that we do that causes the teeter to totter. It's a lifestyle thing. So if you're drinking alkaline water and you're eating greens, and there's ways to just live an alkaline style life.
So then tomatoes would be okay for me to reintroduce
Stew
them? I
'em.
gave them up and I love them.
Stew 'em is the best too, by the way. Just lightly stew them. Yeah.
That was it.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Ron. My name is Juan, and I have a question. Might be a two-part type of question. I like the presentation, how you explained it. I've seen the video only once, which Joey here shared with me. But on the swapping for the DNA part, and once they know what you're gonna need a new product to take this. And you're on this program for, let's say, a year or two or whatever amount. Is there a follow-up testing DNA to see what's changed?
Yeah, good question. The DNA will never change from infant to elder, but your blood could and would. And again, you're trying to make sure that these genetic SNPs, that the expression is a positive one. So it's a lifelong lifestyle you want to live, so that the expression doesn't turn out to be something you're not wanting to have. So again, the genetic test will not change, but the blood could. And again, I think this is a lifetime, a lifestyle conversation we're having. Does that make sense?
But is there a follow-up DNA test?
I would do blood. Well, if there's ever a follow-up DNA test, it's maybe someday we come out with a skincare line and we want to test a certain gene on you guys, and boom, we do it, and now you have your designer skincare. Okay? Con mucho gusto. ¿Habla español? Sí, también.
Terry, in your report, does it kind of give a blueprint of how to treat your lifestyle change?
Yeah. What it does is on each ingredient or genetic SNP, it talks about what the lifestyle is required for that SNP. So, when you're reading about SNP number 12, it'll say, here's some of the nutrients that are in there and why, and here's some recommendations for lifestyle. So if 12 is a red for you, you're going to really pay attention to the lifestyle. Okay? You bet.
Question, if you're taking this, does this replace, or do you end up still, is there still more vitamin supplements you take, or is this pretty much it?
I would call this a foundational product that you would want to take and let your body express itself, see what happens. And then there's some people, women who might want to, or men, who might want to find bioidentical hormones or something to do with cardio that's more targeted, like an L-arginine product. So there's things that, I'm not saying this is the one and only, but I believe this is a very strong foundational lifestyle product.
I'm kind of wondering how many things in that closet full of stuff could actually go.
You can save. I say you guys take a picture of all your blind nutrition and have a yard sale. We'll have like a...
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Just along the same lines, I take herbs and essential oils every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of my lifestyle. Would I want to give this, now I've been doing the pre-nutrition, love it. I believe my product just arrived, so I'm going to be keeping it up. Should I give this a time period to stop everything else to get it into my system? Or should I continue to do the daily routines that I do along with your that is,
What I,
might be asked of me by people in my life as well, like, you know, what should I do when I start this?
well, there's so many variables to wellness. For example, walking, breathing air, drinking water, getting a little sunshine, relationship, building, and all that stuff. There's so many variables. It's a hard one to answer, but I know what I would do. I would probably let this do its thing on its own and just listen to my body. If it's time for a little peppermint before bed, then then I'll just put a little right here and just breathe deep and sleep like a baby. So just listen to your body, but give this a fighting chance. See how you feel, okay? Yes, sir.
So I've been coaching on quite a few people on the ketogenic diet.
Uh-huh.
So men and women are a little bit different, especially when it comes to blood type. But one of the things I really hone on is inflammation within the body.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think they're just going to drop weight and stuff, but they got to be patient. They got to let their body heal itself.
Yes.
And so my question is does this really focus on inflammation?
One of the genetic SNPs is inflammation. So again, without me making claims, the scientists spent 20 years not only studying that gene, but studying the ingredients that might couple to that really nicely, okay? And you and I both know, if you're teaching that, I'm pretty familiar with keto. If you're teaching that there's more than that variable. It's what kind of carbs, what kind of sugars, how much, how little, all that stuff. How much fats, what kind of fats. So good for you. So I'm going to move on because I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you. Is your phone number?
Everything. Except my measurements.
Okay. So in closing, I just want to share something with you guys. And it's my favorite part of this, and you'll probably notice it by my energy. It's my favorite part. At the core of this company, it's about identity. It's about self-identity. It's about your DNA identity. And right now, there's an identity crisis going on our planet with people who are just kind of flying low and blending. Filming her daughter. Her daughter was 16 or 17, watching this video. And her daughter was going, oh, and she had tears, and she says, oh, I love this company. She was just a teenage girl, and her mom's filming. She goes, well, what do you love about this company? She says, makes me feel like a dang queen. And it was just really sweet. And then she went on and on and on about how Euphoria was making her feel as a human being. And that's my come from. That's my passion. I know it's Michael's passion. I know it's Hallie's passion. I know it's a lot of people's passion that's in this room. Rod, it's a passion to lift people up. And so when it got to this point, I thought, man, my last company that I did, it outdid me, if you will, because we had 4 paintings that were just so powerful, and you remember those, Rod. It was just a powerful conversation. I'm thinking, what are we going to do here? And what came to mind was the U series. Find elements of nature that are beautiful, where there's no two alike, and let those elements serve as a mirror for us to remind us how beautiful and how unique we are. So the thinking was, okay, if I were to describe each of you, I would think divine, I would think purpose, I would think unique, radiant, beautiful or loving, strong or strength, and then of course at the end of the day, miracle. So went looking for elements of nature that would illuminate that. So snow, leaves, some of you have seen the leaf video, love the leaf video because the leaf comes to this earth and its purpose is to dictate the environment, much like a leader might. Not dictate, but you know what I mean, create the environment. And then right in front of us, a leaf dies for its cause, for its purpose. And then sand, 8 quadrillion grains of sand on the planet. You look at it through a microscope, it's gorgeous. I had no idea. It's beautiful, it's colorful, different shapes, different sizes. No two alike. But what's sand? Unique. Stars. NASA has revealed that what stars are made of are what you are made of. We are star stuff. Literally. Stars, they shine. They're radiant. What are we waiting for? Literally, we're made of the same stuff. Okay? Butterflies, gentle, loving, it works. Kindness works, folks. I believe that health is kindness. Kindness is health. Okay? Strength or strong shell, if you research the lifespan of a shell and what it's designed to do, it's strong, it protects. And each one of us are strong. And then finally, the miracle is you. All of this is designed to illuminate. We're going to play one of the videos, and it is the snowflake. This is divine. Huh? Yeah. I'm going to go back one slide. There we go. The snowflake, scientists are still trying to describe what water is. They really are, much less a snowflake. So let's play that video.
Modern technology wasn't so modern when it gave us the first images of snowflakes. For the first time, we saw the beauty of nature's creation, and the secret was revealed. No matter how many times we look, no matter how many snowflakes we see, when the same atoms, the same molecules that give us so much frozen white wonder come together, no two snowflakes are exactly the same. Each snowflake created by random design of Mother Nature's chance. Each one created by divine choice. Just like all of us, made up of the same elements, the same molecules, yet each one uniquely different. You and the snowflake, unique by chance, divine by choice.
So, I'm going to send you home lit up like a Christmas tree, and here's why. One time I was doing what's called the U of U. Who here has seen a U of U before? Okay, U of U is what I do around the world to help people just turn the light switch on, to facilitate it. How's that? And I was doing one, and this young girl raised her hand. She was sitting next to her mom, and she said, "What is self-esteem? What is self-worth?" And I remember giving a really cheesy answer, and I went home that night, and as I often do, I rehearsed the entire day in my head what happened, to detail. I don't know why, but it just happens, and then I edit out the stuff that doesn't belong, so next time it's a better experience. And I remember thinking, man, I wasn't prepared to answer that question. The reason being is because society talks about self-worth like it's a tattoo. This person has a low self-worth, this person has a high self-worth. And as I thought about that, I thought, wait a minute, that's not true. Why is it some days you wake up and you feel, yeah, and then there's other days you wake up and you just struggle with worth. You feel worthless at times. I do. What's the difference in those 2 days? So I revert to starting with children. When a child is just in their beautiful stages of childhood, they dream. They believe. A child walks in the room and they should own the room. Act like an adult makes absolute no sense to me. 0 sense. What, do you want to be cynical and thick-headed and all that and know everything? Or do you want to be just real and present and accept and not assume and forgive and be resilient and believe everything? Just believe in your dreams. And when I talk about dreams here today, please don't think that I'm being airy-fairy. I think of dreams like your loving relationships, your friendships. I think of dreams like your career and what, are you really doing what you were designed to do out there? I think of your dreams as your physical being, how you look and feel. I think of dreams of how the community, how you interact with your community. Don't complain about your community, go do something. And then I think of dreams of your spirituality. Just how much peace are you getting from the outside, okay? That's creating this thing that's bigger than you, so you don't get in the way. That's dreams. Well, children, they don't doubt. You ask a child what they want to be when they grow up, and they say anything because they can. It's not until they listen to us, or that first broken friendship, or that first infatuation that just didn't work out, or that first job that sucked and just all of a sudden, And what were smile lines, they all of a sudden begin to convert into frown lines. And we wonder what happened just now. And I know every one of us in this room have experienced those frown lines. Like, what was that? Remember when I was a kid, how I felt? And this is adulthood? So then naturally what happens is this person is just surviving, kind of faking it, imitating things and people. Let me tell you something. Imitation is a form of depression. Authenticity is life-giving. This person all of a sudden starts doing what? Well, I think I'm going to suck down some motivation. You better be, because you're separated from your dreams. I'm not saying motivation's a bad word, but I think it's a Band-Aid to a hollow, empty soul who's lost track of his or her dreams. So the word is this: inspiration. Synonymous with self-worth. Inspired. So what happens is this. You're sucking down the motivation over here just trying to find one little hole in the offensive line where you can find the light at the end of the tunnel. But after a while, it's like whipping a dead horse if you don't figure this part out. Because this, my friends, truly, in my experience, is the secret to you being freaking everything you were designed to be. You don't have to settle for less. You don't have to let go of the juicy passions that you've reminisced throughout your life. Here's how inspiration works. Now, when I talk about inspiration, some people go, wait, is that a church thing? What is that? No, here's what inspiration means in this context. When you're watching sports, any sport fans in the room? Sorry, girls. All the guys are like, yeah. When the color commentator refers to a certain athlete, let's say Michael Jordan, and they'd say, oh, once in a while they would say these words, ooh, Michael's playing inspired. Thank you. Inspired in that context means can't be stopped. Just shooting with his eyes closed, shooting free throws, literally on TV, just going, making them, he's inspired. Now, I think of times in my life when I was inspired, and I want you to think of times in your life when you were inspired. Here's one for me. 16 years old, had a crush on this girl named Linda. Whoo, was I inspired. Get some flowers, walk 3 miles, really happy every step of the way, and never even thought twice about turning around. Just, these flowers are going to get there, and I'm so happy. I am so happy. Boom, delivered the flowers, and all the way home, just the same vigor, just can't be stopped. Think of the first time you bought a car. Lazy teenager here, works 2 jobs, employee of the month, gets there early, leaves late, smooging all the bosses. Pay me, I'm buying my car because I'm going to get with Linda. Okay? Couldn't be stopped. Bought the car, no problem at all. Think of the times you bought a house. I know we have some real estate agents in here, but from the buyer's perspective, we're signing paperwork we never knew existed. We're like, okay, now, is that like 418 initials I just gave? Okay, keep going. I mean, but we'll do it because we can't be stopped. How many mothers we have in the room? Raise your hands, mothers. Okay? This last couple of years, my daughter, I went to her cheerleading competition. You don't mess with cheer moms. No siree. Got my butt handed to me in that room. It's like, ooh, excuse me. Your wedgie's a little too tight. I mean, it was just crazy. Moms, when a mom wants to do something, she's inspired. She can't be stopped. Get out of the way, period. But here's the problem. Your lifeline, these windows of inspiration, these little spikes in your lifeline, they just come and they go. The window opens and then it closes. And then what we do when we get to be adults, we start reflecting, going, wait a minute. What was I doing during that era? How was I sleeping, on my side or on my back? Was I eating this or eating that? Truly, was I in a desert community or a snowy community? You start thinking, what was going on? Because whatever it was, I felt so amazing during that window of inspiration. So we start just really rehashing it, when all it really was these little windows of inspiration where you just can't be stopped and you feel so alive. It's life-giving. When I was buying that car, I had a walk that, people are like, man, what's going on with him? I was inspired, man. Could not be stopped buying that car. No way. Okay? So maybe inspiration and self-worth are synonymous in the context of maybe you just separated from your dreams. And the prices that are paid during dream separation sometimes are insurmountable. Sometimes. But it's never too late, folks. It is never too late to open up that can of whoop and realign with your purpose and dreams and write it down again. Go back to that big dreamer, the juicy dreamer, not the edited version, not the survivor version, the dreamer version, the one who has some gut conviction that says there's more to me than what I'm putting out there right now. There's more to me. There's a gut conviction in every single one of you that there is more of you, and that you're sort of living blindly and in denial of that more part of you. So maybe self-worth is nothing more than just coming back and defining what you want in your relationships, what you want in your career and money. Because you know why? People who live like this have a low self-worth. And they don't even know. And they have a low self-worth. They settle for lesser relationships. They settle for lesser money. They settle for lesser dietary habits because of this. But when you come back and you align yourself center point to your purpose and your dreams, center point, uniquely to you, by the way, you light up like a Christmas tree. And energy doesn't lie. And what happens is we see people like this. We all know somebody like that, Hallie. She's over there just smiling like, that's me. We think they have something that we don't. That's the sadness in this. When all they have is this. That's it. Instead of making excuses, oh, they were raised on a silver spoon, or they were done this, and their parents did that. No. This is a choice. And these are the people that people want to marry, make babies with, go into business with, and the party doesn't start until these people arrive. Yeah. So, here's my point. When you bring that back to you, and you own it again. That's what a nutritionist is, by the way. I just described one for you. That's what a nutritionist is. A nutritionist is somebody who just owns who they are. And they're a mirror for people to own who they are. And if a mirror means serving you in a health capacity, a financial capacity, a community capacity, that's what a nutritionist does. They unapologetically just own who they are. That's what we're doing on the planet. So get ready. Because when you really learn this, by the way, tonight you can have this. Tonight you can have this. You can begin this. And there's days it slips. Yeah, it slips. NFL Sundays, it slips. I just put on my adult diaper so I can watch the whole game. I'm kidding. But it slips a little bit. Okay? It does. But you get to adjust it. You'll know the difference. Oh, I'm not feeling so up and up. Okay, come back. So that's what we're up to at Üforia. If you thought it was just going to be trying to sell you a product or twist your arm into an opportunity, if we have to twist your arm, let's not do it, please. Let's not. We do these things by choice. So I came here, as I said in the beginning of I apologize for taking so long. I don't know why this is the last stop on this tour, and I'm like, but I just came here to hopefully impress upon you that the Üforia cultural fate will not be left to the wind. I've seen cultures sustain, I've seen cultures kill companies, but I do know this. Every entity who exists in a great culture has a chance to win. I know that. I can't say it on a bad culture. So I invite you to own who you are. Just step into it, man, and unapologetically just realize that the 99% is identical, but that 1%, that's the nerdy you. It's the talented you, it's the beautiful you, it's the awkward you. Step into that, because otherwise you're denying the rest of us the opportunity of you. Rod, you spoke on the call this morning. You were so awesome. Would you mind coming up and just sharing your experience of Üforia? I don't mean to put you on the spot. I didn't ask him. This is a friend I met many years ago who's just a world-class man, world-class leader, and I just felt compelled. Round of applause for Mr. Rod Furtado. Just go love him. Yeah. Nice shirt. Thank you.
Good afternoon. All right, are we having some fun here today? Yeah. Can I just say, hear it one more time? Let's give a big hand to Mr. Ron Williams. Absolutely. You know, I am so glad our path just kind of crossed again, because let me tell you something. If you're here today, you are blessed. You have the biggest opportunity of your life. And if you have not woken up yet, let me reassure what's happening right now, okay? You are at the pre-launch, the beginning stage of a movement, something that is bigger than bigger. And I can tell you one thing, I've been waiting for 32 years to get involved into something like this. Because the most important thing, guys, I've been through many companies. I work for many businesses. I made a lot of people a lot of money. And I've been successful in a lot of things, multiple six-figure income for the past 12 years. But it's not about me. It is absolutely not about me. It's about all the people that I can bless through Ron, through Michael, Hallie, their team, an amazing team. Because you're here because of them, not because of me. And I can tell you one thing. You are at the right place at the right time. So let's give it up for all of you that are here right now. My name is Rod Furtado. I'm from Panama, Central America. My first language is Spanish. I came here to the States seriously with $10 in my pocket. True story, okay? But I came here with one thing, and that's called a dream. Dream of succeeding in life, surrounding myself with good people, and today I'm not living that dream, I'm actually sharing that dream. Because after all, when we all go to the same place, we're all gonna go one day. We ain't taking nothing with us. The only thing you're gonna take with you is that memory right here that you're creating in special places with the people you love the most. So starting from today, when we're done with this activity, what I expect from you is to get out of the Secret Service business and become an entrepreneur looking for whatever you want to succeed in life. Because let me tell you, they have all the mechanism, all the tools, everything you can possibly imagine, including one-of-a-kind product to succeed with the right people at the right time. As I wake up every morning, I can tell you, there's two things I don't do. I don't take advice from broke people, and I certainly don't listen to people that are not living the lifestyle that I want to live. So take a good look at yourself and project what you want to attract. And I'm so grateful that Ron came out here with the right message, because he's absolutely right. When I met him, I knew that he was the right guy. But he wasn't ready for me, and he wasn't ready for you. I can guarantee you, I know his style. I know what he does. I know 100% his capacity to take this business to the next level. Because we're at ground floor, guys, but what you got to paint the picture is that a lot of you are going to participate in a worldwide business. Because this is not going to stay here. So if you can understand that vision, being on the ground floor of something bigger than you, then you have to put in the effort. You have to be disciplined. You have to be in the right set of mind, and every single day put everything you can to become successful. Keep it simple. Share the opportunity. Don't do verbal vomit. We are not nutritionists as doctors. We are delivering a message. And the message is very simple. If we can get inside of your body and take everything and fix it from within, instead of putting in medications, because medication is just to fix one problem. Nutrition fixes everything. And once you understand that, guys, my pants are falling. Because I eat less. You know, I'm going to tell you a story. This is a true story. This happened this morning. As I'm getting out of the car to come in here, I was going to tighten up my belt. And it ripped. The buckle ended up in my hand. And I'm like, oh my God, and my pants are falling in the middle of the parking lot. Yes, I'm human. And I'm going, what am I going to do? And I'm like, I watch MacGyver. So I put a rope out of my trunk. I'm telling you, this business is incredible. This business is incredible. But anyways, listen, as I wake up every morning and I share this, I'm going to tell you, from the moment I was looking for an opportunity, a friend of mine, we were texting. I say, hey, do you know anything out there? Because I've been waiting for 4 years. I don't put my name on anything. I want you to know. I try, but I keep it on the low tone. I don't put my name on anything because I've been waiting for something. And as soon as I'm here at this meeting and I listen to Ron and I listen to Michael and I listen to Holly, I said, I am with the right team. I am absolutely 100%. I believe that I'm in the right team. And if you're not, go home, lock yourself in your room, and watch a travel channel, and that's how you're going to travel around the world. You'll save some money. Trust me. But the most important thing, guys, you are the producer, director of your movie. You write it any way you want it. And the outcome is that if you put the effort, like Michael says, if you put 100%, I'll match your efforts. Let me tell you, I partner up with some people that are amazing. My real peak is the Latino community, my people, Latino, and my friends that are here supporting. Please, Sai, could you come here for a second? Sai, come here. Let me tell you something. Let's give a hand to Sai. I'm gonna tell you a story, okay? This is my business partner, okay? She is the vertebrae of my Latino community. Let me explain to you. Single mom, 2 kids, still working, making $12 an hour, could barely make it every week. And let me tell you something. Her and I, we're on a journey, okay? And we have not stopped. And because of her and her passion and her heart, we are reaching out to the Latino community. Because like Michael said and Holly said, this is the first time a company opens up and he thinks about the Latinos at the same time. You guys get that opportunity. Sai, thank you so much for being you, because without you, I would not be here, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay? And I wanted to give her that recognition. Thank you. I wanted to give her that recognition because she has passion just like me. She wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning, goes to sleep at 10 o'clock, sometimes 12, but we're on the phone talking in Puerto Rico, talking in New York, Mississippi, in so many different areas in the Latino community, just putting the stars align. So listen, we're sitting here in Vegas. There's over 3 million people out here. You just need a handful of people that believe you, that trust you, that they know who you are, that they'll be willing to work with you and partner up with us to help you to build your business. Here's the best part. There's no team that, team this, team whatever. You know what team this is? The Üforia family. Because if you succeed, we succeed. We cannot succeed without you. Get that right. This compensation plan is so generous that it allows you that if you move up, and you're in that leadership role, guess what? They're going to pay you and reward you for your efforts. So take note of that. Understand that we're not, like Ron says, we're not a Me Too product. We're not a Me Too company. We are in the right place, okay? And so I just wanted to share that with you. I'm so excited. I'm so blessed because every single day I wake up for this message. So I just wanted to share that with you all. Guys, thank you so much. Ron, we love you. Appreciate it.
Well, now you guys know why I asked Rod to come up. Thanks, Rod. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. And when a company kind of puts the Latin community right there with the gringo community, we were blessed enough to get a Rod and a Sai and other Latins that are here with us today and around the world. The Latin people are for real, man. I'll tell you what. I learned that when I went down to Mexico, and I'll never forget sitting in a bank, and I was in line and the music was playing. And usually banks in America are very dry. And there was a lady in front of me, probably like 70, and the music was just really light, and she was just, in the bank waiting in line. I thought, man, I think I like this culture. They're quite fun people. So with that, folks, you can see that we're really aiming to do something spectacular, and we want to do it the right way. My portion is pretty much concluded today, but I wanted to express my gratitude to all of you. My wife Candy is here. I want to thank her. I've been gone for 2 weeks, so we get to know each other again. Get to know each other again in about an hour. I'm teasing. And then my little boys are here, Cannon, Truman, and Brighton. Colton, wave, buddy. Those are my puppies, but really I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the energy and the likes and the leadership of Michael with Hallie. So many of you, Rodney, who was just here earlier, there's some spectacular people that this company somehow attracted. And if I were to tell you what makes me most proud is that when I started this company, usually a CEO of a network marketing company will spend a year headhunting, begging a leader to come and do them a big favor and launch the company. And when you're doing that, because I've been there before, you lose all negotiation because you're not open yet. You have nothing to leverage, and the leader's going, how much can you do me for? That's what it is. And so what happens, and then the rest of you come, and you find out 3 years later that the buzz was gone before it ever started. So kind of designed it out, got it ready to go, and just one night just said, boom, we're live. And I remember the first week just biting my nails like crazy, just nervous. And then the second week it started to pick up, and the third week, and the fourth week, and here we are in the fifth and sixth week. And I will say at this phase, it's on autopilot in a really spectacular way. And how blessed are we to have such great people at the foundation of this company, because, man, the fruits have to match the roots. They have to. And if they don't, we're going to find ourselves chasing the culture instead of being it. So let's be the culture. Be amazing. Be respectful to others in the room when you show up. Some people show up and go, is this going to be any good? And other people walk in and go, it's good now. That's just how they show up. It's how they count themselves. And so we're that person. That's who we are. When you show up, man, don't apologize. Don't play small. Just be who you are. Remember, be that life-giving person, not the one that's trying to artificially live something that's a form of sadness and depression. So thank you so much. God bless all of you. Michael, you guys are going to, you are going to hear the best. I mean, you're here now getting it into you. Just take it all in, because you're going to get some training. And this is where, this is where we step into it, folks, and we start learning the skill set. God gives us talents. We make it a skill. People die riddled with talent and no skill. You're going to now learn a lot about the skills and what the action plan is moving forward. Don't miss a word of it. Take notes, enjoy. You're really taking it in from some of the best there are on the planet.